The Cigar Nerds Podcast.
And welcome to Cigar Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Smokin' Joe.
I'm the lonesome stranger that just randomly shows up to record every once in a while.
Hey, Brad's back. Good, because I couldn't get Amanda to watch this shit.
Why? It was great. Like, I had not watched any of the trailers or anything, and it just, like, it's everything I wanted.
Well, before we get into this week's topic, what are we smoking, or what am I smoking this week? I got the Dark Star from Rocky Patel.
Which is funny, because there's a lot of Rocky cigars that are a lot darker than that cigar.
Yeah, it's kind of a misnomer in the name. But yeah, it has a Corojo wrapper from Honduras with kind of a milk chocolatey brown, but I wouldn't call it dark. Includes a blend from Nicaragua, Honduras, and Paraguay fillers, which don't think I've ever had tobacco from Paraguay.
Paraguay, huh? That's not one of the big, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, supposedly it's a medium plus, but it has a lot of flavors. They say dark chocolate, espresso, dried fruit. So we'll see if I get any of that as we.
I'm getting a lot of mocha and espresso from mine.
Yes, because you're drinking the Black Rifle Mocha Espresso. I did try some of the Black Rifle Cold Brew. Because I had to go to Walmart and get coffee because I ran out, and so they had like a salted caramel cold brew. Wasn't bad. I knew it's not like cold coffee, but then I started drinking those canned shit, so like the cold brew is pretty much just non-canned cold coffee.
Yeah, this is kind of what caffeine and hate is what I've learned to operate off of at this point. I now understand.
Yep.
I am truly living. Caffeine, hate, and lots of nicotine.
Well, yeah. December's always a weird month for us because, with the kind of schedules and holidays and stuff, we usually get a little bit of content out. And I guess this will count as our Christmas episode, but so that's why I'm wearing my Darth Vader Christmas sweater for those watching on the YouTubes. But we couldn't find a Christmas movie to talk about this year, or at least not any that were any good, because we wanted to talk about Silent Night, and that thing kind of bombed and was not in theaters for very long, so we did not get
what
to
was
see
it
Silent
up
Night.
against?
I don't even know, because there's like really nothing
because the
coming out.
trailer,
But Wonka came out this weekend, so it was like, all right, it kind of came out between big movies, so it's like, all right, we had to clear it out to make room for fucking Wonka and Aquaman and everything else that's coming out in the next week or two, I guess.
I don't know. I remember, what was it, Saw 10 or something, and saw the previews for it and everything, and I mean, based on the previews, it looked like it would have been pretty decent. But
yeah, it's like John Woo, like the old school master of action movies. Like before there was John Wick, there was John Woo, but yeah, it didn't stay in theaters long enough for me to catch it because I was out of town, and hell, you were out of town, and it was gone by the time we had the time. So maybe it'll come out on video, and we'll do like a Christmas in July episode and talk about Silent Night if it's any good.
Nothing comes out on video anymore. It just, whatever streaming service you subscribe to will eventually get their hands on it.
Well, apparently, like now streaming stuff's coming to video, because when I was at Walmart the other day picking up my Christmas sweater, they had The Mandalorian on Blu-ray. So now they're like releasing shit that was streaming series on. If anybody needs like hard copies.
And that is one thing that I don't like with streaming service. Like with physical media, you can go back and enjoy it whenever. But with a monthly subscription, you're at the mercy of what content or contracts make things available. Like you never actually have a thing.
Yeah, and there's several things I would like to watch that are on other streaming services that I just don't want to pay for that streaming service because there's not enough things there I want. But if they released, fucking Star Trek Picard on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, then I would watch it. But I'm not paying for Paramount or whatever just to watch Star Trek.
What's a DVD?
These things that used to go in PlayStations that we watched movies on.
There's only, like, that's the crazy thing. Like,
They're those glass coasters they sell at the thrift stores when you go there. They have like a whole bookshelf of them.
in the the heyday, ripping DVDs and all that kind of stuff. I think the only Blu-ray I ever purchased was probably Range 15. Like, I never had, a dedicated Blu-ray player outside of I think the PS4 played Blu-rays, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing I still have my PS4 is because I don't ever have time to game, but it's like the few Blu-rays I have, it'll play those, but mostly it's the thing Netflix lives on when I'm not using my computer or, because I've got a dumb TV in the shed and a smart TV in the house, so when I'm out here in the nerd cave, I got to use the PlayStation to watch the Netflix. But so we're gonna skip Christmas, I guess, and go kind of. I would say this would fit as a New Year's movie because it's about an epic party, and usually that's.
That's close enough to Christmas for me anyway, because kind of the week. Christmas Day is just a ton of running around for me, and then after that, I can't wait to just be obliterated into the new year.
Yeah, so now we're talking about Netflix's new action series, Obliterated. And if you're going to get obliterated, you should call in the Strike Force, strikeforceenergy.com, promo code Cigar
I think
Nerds.
this is the Strike Force, Joe.
We're finally talking about an actual Strike Force. So yeah, if you need to get nuked, jack up a whole bunch of Strike Force energy using your promo code Cigar Nerds. And with that, we'll be right back with the party. And welcome back. It's time to get obliterated.
So, gather your Molly, your ecstasies. Is Molly ecstasy? Or are those two different things?
No, I think they're the same. I don't know.
We need some acid.
Not up on my.
We need some mushrooms.
And some guacamole.
Epic fucking guacamole. And I'm really disappointed that you didn't bring a stuffed camel or something to set up as a prop.
Oh, shit, I need it. Don't have a Camel. That's the new sequel to Cocaine Bear. It's Cocaine Camel.
But yeah, this was just such a the action was badass. There was a lot of comedy. There was,
Well, that's the thing we've kind of talked about, Tom, that there's no adult comedies anymore. Back in the day, we had serious hard R comedy movies with tits and violence and drug use, and everyone's gotten a little too sensitive these days, so it's been kind of a while before we really got a good R-rated comedy, and then this thing pops out and I was like, holy shit, they're going for it. It's
just your merry gang of misfits. But isn't that the damnedest thing? Take a night off. All right, we're gonna party. Oh, we're not really off. I can relate to that so well.
Hey, about that vacation I told you to you're still sober because I need you to go fight terrorists. God damn it.
Even when you're off, you're not truly off.
So yes, the premise of said movie, this movie really reminded me of The Hangover meets.
Dude, it was The Hangover
List.
meets Waiting meets Terminal List meets.
Because that was the thing I really appreciate. The action sequences were legitimate. I mean, it wasn't an action comedy where there's where it's heavier on the comedy than it. When there was time to do action, they did some good ass action. And apparently, this was created by the guys behind Cobra Kai. So they got some experience with some action, but the action sequences were awesome. But then it was just funny as shit, and then just random nudity.
Well, when in Vegas,
it's pretty much Vegas violence and random nudity, and lots of drugs and alcohol.
I don't know. I had quite a few I felt like there were several nods to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas throughout this.
We're in bad country.
maybe less reptiles and more goblins.
I mean, and then you got like Navy SEALs wearing Hawaiian shirts, which is pretty fear and loathing.
I kind of feel like in Vegas, like that's how you know you made it. just straight pimping, fucking Hawaiian shirt wearing ass motherfuckers. Just watch out for the Russians.
Kolmarad. Yeah, so the premise of this is a Russian mobster, I guess you were, weapons arms dealer. He's supposedly going to sell a nuke to some kind of terrorist, and so they had to put together a joint special operations team with CIA, Navy SEALs, Marine snipers, Air Force pilots, Army EOD,
the best of the best.
Yeah, the fucking A team, GI Joe, to like take down this stop this guy from selling the nuke, which they do, and they're like, hey, we're goddamn American heroes, and no one's ever gonna know this happened. So I say, we take what's left in the operation budget and throw the most epic party like true American heroes should do, and fucking rage. And then turns out that the nuke they found was a scam, and the real nuke's still in play, and they're the only team on site to handle it. But now they're all on drugs and drunk as fuck and have to save the world while fighting off a hangover.
God. Has that ever happened to you? Like, you just hellaciously hungover, or like, oh fuck, a situation just arose. I've got to sober the fuck up right now. And you're like trying to convince yourself to be sober. I've been there.
Or trying to like, pretend to be sober and then just get distracted. I remember we had to take a girl we were hanging out with, got fucking plastered, and like by no fault of our own. We had to like give her a ride home, and I was drunk as fuck, but so having to like talk to her mom and trying to pretend that I'm sober was
I'm doing so great. I'm not doing great at all.
You're like, we don't know what happened. She got away from us at the party, and we found her just fucking hammered. Hey, there's a cat. I mean, the fucking OCD kicks in. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally sober.
Am I seeing camels right now?
Yeah, and they throw the most epic of parties. There's like freaking...
I mean, I kind of like... I feel like that's just a stereotypical Vegas party.
It's like... That's what everyone imagines a Vegas party is actually like. Staying in this like $60,000 a night suite. Fucking... they're like, we're gonna do Molly. And homegirl's like, he's like, I got y'all some presents. And like his kind of the muscle of the team trunk, gets him a shirt that just has an arrow pointing down in his junk. It says, "This is what happens in Vegas." And the team sniper Gomez, who's a hot Latino lesbian girl, gives her a giant clear dildo that apparently you can crack it like a glow stick so it'll glow.
It's tactical.
Yeah, you got to see at night. I got my emergency go light. Oh, but then they all do Molly and shenanigans ensue.
There was a lot more involved than Molly. Although I do want to say, I hope I can only be half as cool as Haggerty when I'm old and gray. I'm never going to go gray because I'm not going to have hair for that, but...
You get gray beard.
Gray beard, yeah. That's already a thing.
Oh, yeah, fuck, I'm getting there. Oh, especially on the sides. It's like, it's like gray on the sides. It's weird. I'll be full Santa Claus in another couple years. But yeah, Haggerty is like, I mean, we're kind of talking about like nods to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Very much like a good nod to like Weekend at Bernie's, because
oh yeah,
Haggerty like just fucking puts himself into a coma through most of the movie, And they just have to like Weekend and Bernie's his ass around like through most of the mission. I think he's awake for like the first episode and like the last 2 episodes. And the rest of the time he's just fucking ragdoll.
Like, if we go to Vegas, I'm not pulling your ass around on a raft. You're on your own.
Hey, I'm skinnier now. Won't be as bad. We got to get one of those.
I'm getting pulled if anybody's getting pulled on a raft.
Nah, we got to get one of those the fold out wagons that you see everyone like dragging their kids around in at like sporting events that has the big tires.
Somebody just like flout over like.
I just keep one of those in my car for emergencies. We're like, oh, somebody get the wagon out. Strap you down to a fucking what the hell, the thing you move like refrigerators and shit with. Just wheel you around like you're like
fucking
you're fucking
Hannibal.
Yeah. Put the mask on you. Wheel you into the hotel like, we're checking in. Is he okay? Yeah, he's fine.
I appreciate you putting the mask on. At least I know I won't wake up with a dick in my mouth or something.
Oh, and we talked about being an R-rated comedy. Equal opportunity with the nudity. It wasn't just misogynistic. We had equal tits and dicks in this movie. I think I've seen just as many dicks as I've seen tits in this movie. Some of them more shocking than others, because like when Haggerty walks out, the team's like raging through the night, and they get the call that, hey, we need y'all to go back into action, and they have to run everyone out. And they're like, where's is Haggerty with you? Oh yeah, he's with us. We might need him to defuse when you find the real bomb. And they're like kind of discussing what their next steps, and Haggerty just walks out full butt ass naked. Like, we saw old man dick. We said like a few years ago that like old woman tits was like the new thing in horror, and we got to see like full naked old who, and then immediately like Haggerty has left the building, and then passes out face first onto the glass coffee table. No cuts though. I mean, that was impressive.
I will say though that another kind of sort of Boondock Saints-ish, with the classical music and everything, when he's doing his actual EOD shit with defusing the bomb, and like I can't do this without my music, and like I was having flashbacks of like the detective and Boondock Saints being like, it was 6 guys with guns. No, yeah. It was 1 guy with 6 guns. Like,
yeah, when they first raid the Russian, and like when they're thinking they're taking the actual, that action sequence, those dudes like just straight smoking people right and left, and like freaking Gomez taking the double headshot with this 2-for-1. I was like, fuck yeah. But then they bring Haggerty in to defuse the bomb. He's like, got to find the perfect song, and they're like, she's like, what? He's like, and she's like, they're like, don't worry, all EOD guys are a little crazy. This is his method. And he's like, yeah, it's like, the trick is you got to pretend that you find the right song, and it's like, there is no clock,
there is no timer.
And I like how they're like, he's like freaking singing along, and like you get the kind of the classic, and like you can't hear anybody else because you're on like Haggerty's perspective, but you see everyone else like fucking losing their shit in the background. And he's just so calm, and like the music and everyone else is like, fuck, we're all gonna die and shit.
He's like, secretly he's figured it out in like 15 seconds, and he's like, we're just gonna let the timer run just for suspense.
Yeah, it's dramatic effect. In every movie where a bomb is going to go off, you never disarm it before it's at 1 second. I've got 5 minutes, and what I'm going to do to this only takes like 3 seconds. So I'm going to sit here and just fuck around for 2.5 minutes. It's like, unless it's a James Bond movie, then the timer always stops at 7, so you get the 007. But any other movie, it's like, no, we have to like push this till like 1 second before it goes off. And I kind of like how this movie ran real time. So you find like we've got 8 hours to find and stop this bomb, and it was 8 episodes. And that also, it's so like, even though it's 8 episodes, this all takes place in one long ass night. So they're fucked up through most of the show.
Well, I mean, anybody that's
hangover
shrooms,
starting to
like,
to set in.
That's with you for a good 6 hours, depending on the amount. But, coming from a guy that's never did that, to being like, whoa, we had Haggerty's trifecta guac, which...
Yeah, Haggerty, his contribution to the party is guacamole with pineapple, which I've never experienced pineapple chunks in guacamole, but with shrooms and he said it was LSD, but I've never seen like LSD in that form.
I don't know.
But yeah, he's like his pineapple guac with mushrooms and LSD. And of course, like the pilot of the team who's like, I'm the designated driver. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't own anything. He's like, ooh, guacamole.
Innocently enough,
Kind of like the guy who, the trope of, oh, these are some good brownies. And then, like, not knowing that you got the good brownies.
Ooh, I just ate a brownie, but I really want another brownie.
Yeah, so he ends up, he's like, they're all fucked up. And he's like, all right, get the chopper. We need to go to, like, the black site where we're holding this Russian and see if we can get intel to find out where this fucking bomb is. He's like, are you good to fly? Of course I am. I've got nothing in my stomach except guacamole. And like, just kind of like the slow descent of him. Cause he's good probably through like an episode or two before it really kicks in. And he's like, starts like seeing the fucking, the goblin or gremlin. Cause that's the thing, gremlins always, that was the kind of the myth in World War II that like if you had unexplained, mechanical failures in your plane, it was always the gremlins. And it's like, of course, the pilot starts seeing a fucking gremlin, like, what's going on, Paul? And he's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not going crazy. And then he goes full fucking crazy.
I mean, he does all right. He holds his own for the most part.
Yeah, until the plane turns to cake. And he starts ripping the console apart trying to kill the gremlin and ends up crashing the helicopter in the desert.
I mean, dude, the government lost, a whole fucking aircraft, okay? Like, it's just another day.
Yeah. Oh. But that whole, like the Paul B plot is, like, he finds out his daughter has gone to Vegas for, like, after prom party, and he's like, fucking Vegas is gonna blow up. So he's, like, frantically trying to, like, get his daughter on the phone through the whole thing, and he's having all these fantasies of, like, her having sex with, like, dudes, and, he's more worried about that than the whole her getting blown up by the nuke, I think it's at times. And you get that, like, after the plane crash, which we've skipped way ahead. We'll fucking go back and forth because we got OCD or ADD. Yeah, one of those things.
I got all the A's through Z's. What does that encompass? Pretty much everything.
AIDS.
Whoa.
But yeah, he has, like, they crash the helicopter in the desert and get separated, and you see him, like, find an ATV, and he's like, I gotta go save my daughter, and drives back to Vegas, and, like, the Russians have captured his daughter, trying to, like, use him to find, because we end up getting, like, two bad guys, like a bad guy subplot, but we'll get back to that in a second. This whole, like, epic action sequence where he goes in the hotel like fucking John Wick and, like, rescues his daughter and, like, fucks up these Russian dudes, and then finally gets his daughter and, like, has this whole, like, make up with her, and then it cuts back to he's, like, just hugging a cactus in the desert. So this, like, whole, like, 30-40 minute, like, badass action like series where we had following Paul was all just a fucking delusion. But then they show, like, the ATV and, like, the dead Russians. So he ended up, like, killing some Russians that they sent out to kill them, or mercenaries. I don't think it was the Russians at this point. Them out in the desert after the plane went down. So he did actually fuck somebody up, but in his mind, he was fighting Russians in the hotel, rescuing his daughter. And it's like, I was like, this the whole fucking, like, badass action sequence was all just, a
figment of
a bad acid trip.
It's Hollywood, man. Just because you see it doesn't mean you can trust it.
Yeah, because like Paul went like full John Wick. I mean, he was like doing some badass shit, fucking like Jackie Chan in that bitch, and then like I'm gonna hug this cactus because I'm high as fuck.
Ooh, prickly.
Oh,
And I also love the subplot of Trunk. He just wants a fucking snack, and never a time to indulge.
yeah, it's like he keeps hitting like whatever the food version of cock blocked is, snack blocked.
Like that is the epitome of like ultimate hangry.
Yeah, I've been there where like you're drunk, it's 2 a.m, and you're like, God damn it, I need food. We got to find someone sober to drive us to the Waffle House. We need snacks.
That or you send somebody at this. When we were younger, McDonald's was actually open 24 hours. I can remember on more than one. Yes, we need a bag full of burgers.
Well, we've got Whataburger now here in Georgia. They're like the only burger place, that Steak and Shake, that's open all night anymore. So we could go back to the days of like somebody go to Whataburger and get us some cheeseburgers at 2 a.m. I can't vouch for the quality. I've not done a late night burger run at Whataburger yet, but I know they're open 24 hours.
Been to their location here since it opened?
It's pretty good. I've had like their barbecue bacon burger. It's pretty decent.
I haven't been yet.
It's like the line is always like fucking huge, so it's like any new restaurant in a small town, it's like going to be busy as fuck for like 6 months.
Surprising to me that it hasn't been busier, but I guess because Outback and some other stuff just opened here as well. It's like, oh, we got a restaurant that's just about the same restaurant on the opposite side of the street, but everybody's going to go here because it's new. And it's like, it's the same shit.
But they've got a spicy ketchup. It wasn't very spicy, though. I got to have someone else eat it because, my spice buds are like burned out because I eat radioactive shit all the time.
I forgot.
So I don't know if
I got some peppers I need to offload on you because I can't eat the bitches.
Really? Oh, sounds ominous.
I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's Scotch bonnet. But I ate half of one, and it was like all I could do to keep from like fucking throwing it back up. That's how hot it was.
That's like I smoked some jalapenos and stuff and made like smoked salsa. And I was like, man, this is mild as shit. Like, it's like, I'm disappointed. I should have put more peppers in it. And then like Amanda and the rest of the family try it and they're all like fucking sweating going, this is like fucking too hot. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm just like, I'm broken.
Well, I mean, you eat a lot of spicy stuff. You develop a certain tolerance, and people that, like, don't. It's like, oh, black pepper's too hot. Like, what?
This is the spicy. I'm spicy.
I forgot where I went. I think it was a Peruvian restaurant. Anyway, they bring out this green sauce, and it had a good heat level and flavor to it. I'm trying to talk to the dude, and I'm like, so what is this? And, like, he spoke very little English, so he just kept saying, it's a spicy. So all I know is it's a spicy.
Oh,
I have
that's
no
like...
idea what kind of sauce it was or anything else, but it's a spicy.
I need to figure out what this was for next time I go to Tennessee. But I just went to Tactical Response in Camden, Tennessee, and there's like not a lot of restaurants there, but there's one like really good Mexican place. I think it's like Velacarte or something like that. But usually after like day one of the class, we all go to dinner together, and we all went to the Mexican place, and these two dudes like ordered something, and I don't know what they ordered, but this shit was like so goddamn hot when it came out that it was on like, the cast iron plate you usually get like fajitas on, and the heat of the plate was aerosolizing the peppers, and it basically fucking pepper sprayed the entire table. Like everybody started coughing, like not just at our table, but the tables next to us. A couple guys had like get up and like step away from the table because like fucking eyes were burning and everyone was coughing, and I'm like, I need to try that next time, because if it's that evil, like I want to sample some of that. It's like my steak tacos were not nearly as hot as whatever those two guys ordered. I'm like, I got to figure out what the fuck that was next time, because that shit about killed everybody. Fucking bioweapon. But yeah, we get the Russians' right-hand man is like, we've got this nuke and we're gonna set it off if you don't release our dude. And they finally track homeboy down and it's gonna like take him out, and then random other motherfuckers show up and like kidnap the guy they're trying to kidnap. So now we've got like two groups of terrorists. We've got the original Russians, and then we got the people that apparently that they were going to sell the bomb to originally is not happy that they're using the bomb for collateral. So now you got two groups of trying to fighting over the nuke.
Yeah, such is the way of terrorism.
You got like American terrorists and Russian terrorists.
I mean, wasn't the one dude Korean, the original buyer?
Yeah, they were like. So basically, what happened was, he decides he's gonna get paid twice. So he sells a fake bomb to some like Bitcoin entrepreneurs that think if they nuke like a bunch of money, that their Bitcoin will become like a lot more expensive. So he was selling them the fake nuke, and then he was gonna sell the real nuke to these basically mercenaries that wanted to start to like a new like civil war or whatever. Wanted to like,
it's a new world order, man. NWO.
Yeah. So yeah, they end up and then we also have what's her name, the Lana, who's supposed to be a like TikTok influencer that just happened to be banging the Russians and got caught up when they raided the first meeting. And they're like, you spent time with this guy, so you're going to come with us because you might remember something like useful. So like the she's like, oh yeah, I remember we went to this like warehouse. So like, to meet with some dude. So they're like, oh, that's got to be the people that stole the Russians. Let's go. So they get, another like badass action sequence of them trying to raid this warehouse compound, but then they end up taking the girl and Turk because he's gets knocked out because dude's got low blood sugar or some shit. And that ensues with the helicopter chase through the desert when homeboy starts flipping out and ends up crashing the helicopter in the desert. But then you get to like the most disturbing of, well, first you get there like, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna lock the Russians in the freezer and freeze those fuckers to death, and we're gonna put the Americans in the sauna and just cook them. And fucking Trunk finally wakes up and like Lana's just sitting there like butt naked, and he's like, whoa. She's like, don't worry, I know you're gay. He's like, what? How'd you know I was gay? He's like, because you're like the only person that hasn't been looking at my tits this whole time. It's like, true enough.
We have a plan.
I'm going to seduce them, and when they come in here, dude beats him to death with a fucking lava rock out of a sauna. I was like, ooh, that's got to suck. Not only does it hurt, it burns.
I mean, it's great because it opens a wound and cauterizes.
It's like a lightsaber.
It's dual purpose.
But their escape is short-lived, and they get captured by the mercenaries again, who has like a creepy torture specialist on staff. And yeah, that's probably one of the most disturbing things. He's got them both like locked up. Like,
I mean, are you not a fan of sounding?
Oh, for y'all at home, if you want to know what sounding is, Google that or go on Pornhub and look that up, because that's putting things in your pee hole. But this dude has this thing. It's like a fucking almost like a rod you use for like a cleaning rod for your gun. It's like a long metal tube on the end of like a drill.
It's just a handheld blender.
And
That's all it is.
Spikes come out and it spins. And they're like, we're going to stick this in your pee hole until you tell us all the things. And yeah, it shows it. Like, there's no like off camera. Like, they show it going in his pee hole. It's like, fucking, even the terrorists are like, some of them are like gagging in the corner. Like, oh, can't. I was like, oh, damn. I mean, that shit hurt.
You know, there was a movie trope in here, and we completely bypassed it. Fucking Varsity Blues.
Oh, yes. Because we forgot to talk about the other Maya Lerner, who is the NSA computer. Because you always got to have someone in the van that does all the hacking. And she's obsessed with the lead of the strike force, Chad McKnight, Navy SEAL, played by Nick Zano. Anyone who's a fan of Legends of Tomorrow on on the old DC Arrowverse shows, which never thought I would see his butthole, but I now know what. The fucking sex scenes too were like pretty fucking graphic. I was like, damn, Netflix is going all out. Yeah, but she's obsessed with him because she's like a little nerd girl, and she's like, oh my god, he's like just ripped and shit. And she's like, yeah, but he's got no brains. She's like, oh, I got enough brains for the both of us. I just want. So like she finally asks Gomez, like, what's his type? Oh, he'll bang anything with a pulse, but if it's for like the end game, his hottest fantasy is Allie Lauder from Varsity Blues. So she's like Googling like Allie Lauder from Varsity Blues, and if you've never seen Varsity Blues, that's where the whipped cream bikini comes from. So she rolls in like whipped cream bikinied up and finds him banging fucking Winters, the CIA boss that she had already told that like she was like into him. So she gets all pissed off and like fucking runs away before the real mission starts. So she's like off at a freaking strip club raging with a lady that turns out to be part of the Russians crew. But yeah, she like full on like does the whipped cream bikini. It's like classic.
Bravo.
And for the tech nerd, she was fairly attractive. I was like, props. Like, once you got the baggy nerd clothes off and put on a whipped cream bikini, you're like, all right, that'll play. I'm sure that's like an old comedy trope too. You always have like the nerd girl that, oh, she takes her glasses off and now she's like super hot. It's like, like, yeah, how many times have we seen that in like fucking movies? The nerd chick gets the makeover and now she's like a smoke show.
That's a Hollywood magic, baby. Hollywood magic.
This is Smoky Bastard.
Yeah. For sure.
Even though it is lighter than we normally smoke, it has a lot of flavor. I don't mind it's kind of the same thing with peppers.
I haven't been here for a while, but that statement, we have both made that many, many times. So I think it might be safe to say at this point, maybe lighter than we prefer.
True enough. Well, lighter than we smoke in like everyday life, because for review cigars we try a variety of things, but it's lighter than our normal go-to. But I don't mind light if it has flavor, and this thing has a lot of flavor. Got to give it to Rocky. Don't mind a medium when it's
I'm out of caffeine.
I can just kick you in the nuts. That'll wake you up.
Whatever. I forget about my elbow hurting then, probably.
Just like fucking major pain. I'd give you something to make your elbow so you don't think about your elbow. Oh.
Fine.
I got a drill over here. We can rig up one of those.
No, my dick's not big enough.
Oh.
Yeah. It would just destroy the entire thing, even using
What about the because the team does catch up, and there's some things that went on before that we'll get back to, but since we're talking about the dick torture, the team does catch up, and McKnight comes in to save him, and knocks the guy out before he can hit the button that shreds the dick. So all he's got now is just the insertion. And he's like, I got to touch your dick. I'm going to have to pull it out. And he's like, do I have... It's funny because you find out earlier, like, he's like, hey, I got something I got to tell you. And he's like, catches him, like, having sex with some dude because he didn't know he was gay. So the whole thing, he's like, because...
I'm trying so hard for it to not be a problem that I'm making it into a problem.
Yeah. He's like, this fucking dick suckers. He's like, but, there's nothing wrong with sucking dick if you want. But, it's not what he's like, do I have your permission? Yeah, you just get the damn thing out of my dick. And every action movie, like you talk about in whatever Last Boy Scout, you can't just like hit a guy with a surfboard. You got to say something witty, for like surfs up. So in traditional action movie fashion, you got to have that wisecrack when you kill somebody. So he successfully gets the thing out of his dick and cuts him free. Well, then the torture guy ends up waking up and jumping on McKnight, and then fucking Trunk stabs him up the nose with the dick probe and goes, "How's my dick smell, motherfucker?" And then fucking blends his brains. I was like, oh my god! I was like, of all the fucking death lines, how's my dick smell, motherfucker? Oh, yeah, that was that was bad. Like, Shaq, how's my ass taste?
I wouldn't know.
Imagine like Papa John's pizza.
Food. I'm getting to that point. I need sustenance.
Yeah, you're gonna like fucking pass out, like, yeah, because it's like, dude, like constantly getting like every time like they get somewhere, like, we can order food.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I've ordered room service. Or the whole trope of, before he fucking gets captured and, like, gets on Uber Eats or DoorDash or something to get food delivered.
In, like, the middle of a fucking gunfight. Oh, that's other thing.
It's like, I'm now 300 feet away. Oh, well, we don't deliver past the original ad. I'll give you more money. Like, as the bitch is just sitting there chewing down on his Taco Bell.
Yeah, then like terrorists end up
Nacho
like
Belgrande.
Somebody runs over his shit during the chase, and he still doesn't get his Taco Bell. But how did you like when they're like, all right, we're gonna like, they figure out the Russian's phone, like, are we gonna track him to this meeting? Well, apparently he was onto him and switched phones with somebody, so they track him to this hotel room, like kick open the door for this raid, and there's a fucking orgy going on.
It was Jeff's Fuckfest.
Yeah, they like the fucking person who switched phones with him, like, just happened to be going to a swinger party.
I feel like that's Frolicon.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hi, you're here for, blah, blah, blah. Like,
and they're like, damn it, we gotta find him. And they're like, you sure you don't want to stay? I mean, Jeff's Fuckfest looks pretty, no, we have to find the bomb.
It's like, oh, it's just another Tuesday.
And Sniper Chick, like, on the fucking Vegas zip line down the whatever that famous street is in Vegas, but she's like too high and misses the shot, ends up shooting the the Uber Eats lady in the shoulder. That's how Turk lost his Taco Bell. Like, fucking Uber Eats lady took her around and dropped his shit, and then it got like trampled. But yeah, that should be like a shooting event, trying to like fucking. I think I've seen that on that old show they used to have on History, like Top Shot, trying to like fucking hit targets while on a zip line. That's got to be crazy.
That or in a helicopter.
Yeah, homegirl like hooks up with the fucking bridesmaid at the party, and there's like her little subplot, the whole thing of her the fucking bride's like calling off her wedding and constantly trying to hook up with her.
like, this is what fun's like.
Sending each other nudie pictures.
It's just like, we can't do this, blah, blah, blah. Then why is your hand on my pussy? Like, oh, my bad. That's the Molly.
Oh. Yeah, when they're in the desert trying to get to the mercenaries, you fucking Ava and
so much desert and no ayahuasca.
yeah. Well, they run into another kind of famous person. Of course, yeah, some crazy survivalist living out in the Vegas desert. Crazy Susan, who's played by Lori Petty. Because I was like, that voice sounds familiar. I finally I'm like, oh fuck, that's Lori Petty. And they're like, it's like, all right, what are y'all doing here? And he's like, we were just on one of those Vegas helicopter tours, and the thing went down. Like, bullshit, y'all are liars. Then finally, like, we're a secret CIA strike team trying to stop Russians from blowing up Vegas. She's like, I fucking knew it. It's one of those, give her the crazy story, and they're like, that she'll believe, because like she's the fucking.
Well, I mean, that's just the trope to winners. Read the room. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, like, yeah, we're top secret. Blah 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 blah. Like, yep, fucking knew it.
Fuck them Russians. And he's like, hey, can I have your shotgun? She's like, oh, I got something better than a shotgun. And she got like a whole like hidden gun bunker, and he's like, I love you. This is like
the most epic gear up montage.
Yeah, fucking even puts on the Rambo headband because he's like, a child of 80s action movies. Got to go full Rambo. Cause that's what you should do with his mom, is watch fucking Stallone movies and shit. He's like, I'm gonna go full Stallone. Oh shit, I got a crossbow or a bow and arrow. And then fucking Gomez and tech chick ends up falling into has to man up, falls into like a old mine shaft, and is like surrounded by scorpions. She's like, I need some light. She's like, hold on, let me give you the glow dick. Finally get to use the glow dick to fight off scorpions. And then poor Haggerty gets like lost in a lake. Just kind of
poor Haggerty. What? That dude just
fucking, because he slept through like the whole. He's having the damn of his life. He's like unconscious for most of the mission. Wakes up on a raft in the middle of a lake and finds a houseboat party, and like finds a weird lounge singer chick. Goes and gets married. Wins big at the roulette table, and then gets divorced. It's every Vegas night like rolled up into one. He experiences all of all the things you do in Vegas.
With all the Elvises.
And fucking but this time Paul's so jacked up that like they're like, we can't let him have a gun. Like, here, give him the sniper rifle and just let him do like Overwatch. And he's like, the fucking goblin's like, I'm gonna go party with the Russians. And he's like, fuck you. And he's like, goes and gets the ammo, ends up like sniping a bunch of the Russians just because he's trying to kill the fucking goblin that he's seeing.
Oh, like just the whole thing.
Dude,
there's a Sergey glowing guy. Like, yeah, Paul, you're on night vision. I am on night vision.
Oh. Yeah, and then they finally figure out the mercenaries are holed up in a pawn shop in Vegas, but when they get there to raid them, they're already dead. Because little Lana, who's been helping them this whole way and was helped, turns out she's actually the Russian sister this whole time. And now that she has the nuke, she's like, all right, we're gonna, y'all got to get my brother out. And at this point, they've kind of sidelined the team and turned it over to the FBI, which, as in most movies and in real life, the FBI is pretty incompetent. And end up getting themselves killed because they don't believe the team when they try to tell them that the
you guys are all just hopped up on alcohol and drugs.
Like, no, they have a plot with this plane. This plane's gonna, their plan is like dump a shitload of money over the strip, so everyone just kind of starts a riot so they can come in, grab the nuke, grab their brother, but he ends up getting killed in the crossfire, and so then she just goes like, well, fuck it.
I got nothing to lose.
I've lost my family, lost my brother. I'm gonna nuke this fucking town, while telling her whole team, they're like, oh no, like pickup's coming. We're just gonna go hang out in this hotel. And fucking them finally like trying to raid the thing, and like all right, you got like the black gang members that they've hired, to like for security. Like Turk's like, all right, I keep going. Trunk is like, all right, I'm gonna lead these guys off, and like, so you only have a couple guys to deal with. And they walk up and they're like, you need to let us through. He's like, you're gonna have to kill us to stop you. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, have you actually ever killed anybody? Because we've killed lots of people. And they're just like, yeah, this shit ain't worth it. Y'all go ahead. But then he gets into that fucking fight that just happens to be in the kind of catering kitchen. And you think he's like, because he's like by this time like just completely out of energy, and they throw him into a table, and then the chocolate fountain starts like draining on his face, and he's like, calories, and just fucking like re-energizes, and he's like fucking grabbing like turkey legs and like eating while he's beating the fuck out of all these Russian guys. It's like this epic like fight scene and like buffet at the same time, just eating and fucking shit up.
I mean, machine need fuel.
Refuel the trunk. And then you get fucking McKnight like falling down the elevator shaft and landing on the Russian guy, who somehow survives a 20-story drop, and like has to fight a giant Russian dude in a fucking elevator shaft.
I just want to state for the record, like all I could do is have flashbacks of Dragon Con with them running up like, you take the elevator, I'll take the stairs.
Fucking elevator, so he like runs all the way up, and then like they get there at the same time. It's like fuck. Oh, and when he like
fucking pukes,
pukes, and then tries to run back down the stairs and like hits his puke from earlier and slips and busts his ass. Oh, like yep, this sounds like a Dragon Con moment. But yeah, when he finally makes it back to the fight after fighting the dude, it's like. He had his Rambo montage earlier. Now he's gone full John McClane because he's like just dirty wife beater and like all. I was like, he just went full Die Hard. I mean, there's so many like those little like secret references to like classic action films.
Are they secrets? They're not secrets. This movie couldn't even have happened because everybody knows what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Especially nukes, except for like herpes. I'm pretty sure herpes will follow you home.
Once you get out of Vegas, it's fine. But I don't know, like even the car chase scenes are pretty badass though, with them like in the fucking party van, like
homeboy just wakes up in the back like, what the fuck's going on?
You good, dude? Whoa, you're hot. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, shooting fucking RPGs at him. Yeah, I mean the action sequences were good, and then the comedies is just like I'd laugh my ass off of this. They finally stop Ava and then find out she has another like fake like empty suitcase because she was like gone full suicidal, and she like wanted to make sure she's like all this me like taking over this restaurant was just to like waste time because I want to make sure y'all the nuke's gonna go off regardless, whatever, fuck it. And they're like, we don't know where Haggerty's at because Haggerty's on his honeymoon, and Paul's like, I've sobered up enough to drive the helicopter again, so if we find the nuke I'll just fly it out to the desert and pull a Batman from Dark Knight Rises or whatever. I'm gonna fly the nuke out of town. But then, Ava has to use her fucking CIA magic of like, all right, here's all the things I know. The bomb has to be in a slot machine. Like she called us from a warehouse district. What's in that warehouse district? All right, slot machine supplies. All right, she probably put it in they go to the casino, find the one machine that's not working, and they're like, all right, here's the bomb. And at that point, I think there's like a minute or two. I'm like, dude does not have the time to get this thing out to his chopper and fly. Like, there's no way that shit was going to work anyway. but here come like fuck. So Haggerty's missed like this whole thing because he's like threw his phone out in the and he's like fucking breaks up with his girl because he finds out like she can't have kids or what. Just fucking, and he's like in a limo. He's like fucking I'm going to the airport and sees all these people on the street like on their phones. He's like, what the fuck's going on? And finally like finds out like, oh fuck, the nuke's still in play, and then sees the camel. He's like, I see an old friend. And of course Haggerty comes riding in on the camel to like save the day. And he's like, but I don't have my phone, I don't have my music. And his girlfriend shows back up and starts singing him a song so he can disarm the nuke and save the day.
Yes. I want a camel.
And then have another party. It's like, what can the you know, Winters, you've saved the day. Like, what's like the government owes you a favor. And she's like, well, they can pay it right now because we're gonna finish that party we started. And of course, like, you know, McKnight and her almost hooked up and couldn't. So, you know, while Trunk's been trying to find food this whole episode, you know, McKnight's just been trying to just get his nut because he didn't get to finish. And they finally get to finish. Tech chick like, you know, gets over him and starts, you know, macking on a bunch of other dudes. Like she's got her groove now. She's like, I don't need him. I can get my own dudes.
And Paul finds his daughter.
Yeah.
And ends up liking the boyfriend.
And then him and Haggerty, he's like, oh, buddy, you know, my best friend. And then he sees the fucking goblin. He's like, Sean? He's like, dude, what's up? Man, I haven't seen you since Guadalajara or whatever. And he's like, you can see that? He's like, dude, you'd be surprised the shit I can see. It would blow your fucking mind, man.
Fucking gremlins. But yeah, highly recommend this series. Like,
so do you have a gremlin when you do a bunch of shrooms? And why is his name Steve?
Nah, the most I've ever gotten is like the cartoon effect. Like if I look at faces, like they look kind of cartoonish, you know, but I don't really.
But the one time in my younger days when I took a, you know, hallucinogen, I didn't really see anything. I just got super paranoid and thought a porta-john was trying to eat me. It was more auditory hallucination than like any kind of visual.
But then again,
thing.
like, you know, I think there's a big difference between the natural kind of stuff versus the synthetic, you know, party type, you know, like the natural stuff's like, you know, you're still going to be aware of what's going on around you. The stuff that's made in a laboratory somewhere,
yeah, I've
probably a whole different level.
I've fallen down the rabbit hole on a couple podcasts where they've interviewed people that have done like the plant medicine, the ayahuasca, you know, with like the actual like shamans and shit down in like Peru, and they talk about the crazy ass shit they see.
So I don't like, you know, I still want to be aware of my surroundings. I don't want to be so blitzed out, like, unless I drink a bottle of port and pass out in my own bathroom. I mean, that's just, you know.
Or call me help, I'm in a Walmart and I don't know what to do.
Apparently that was an epic Walmart trip. I took one of their electric pallet jacks and like was running around to employees being like, I've operated the fuck out of this pallet jack. I walked by another employee and Rachel's like, you just look over and you just flat out told the dude, you look like a motherfucker that enjoys pegging.
Oh, I remember Mike getting trashed one time. We walk into a gas station and he just does the scene from Young Guns where he's like, hey, we're in the spirit world. You see the size of that fucking chicken? And the clerk is like, what? And we're like, don't mind him. He's in the spirit world.
But yeah, drinking a bottle of port on an empty stomach in less than an hour, great. Highly recommend it. I bought so much Christmas shit. like Rachel's like, you were literally just like throwing all the Christmas stuff in the cart, like, and then like at some point I'm like, I just threw her my wallet and I wandered off, and she's like, I'm in the middle of trying to check out, and I don't even know where you're going. Like,
you end up with like Christmas presents to like yourself that you bought you don't remember. Like, the fuck is this? Why did I buy a glow in the dark dildo?
So you can see in the dark. In case I lose my ass, I can find it.
Did you see the?
You just leave a little bit exposed. That way, it lights up around your feet. You don't have to worry about stubbing your toes.
Oh, that's the word. Have you seen those like motion activated toilet lights?
No.
Yeah, it like hooks into like the bowl of your toilet, and it's motion activated, so you don't have to turn the lights on. You walk in there, and basically as soon as you like get close to the toilet lights up, and it changes colors too. They had those at the team room where I was staying up in Tennessee, like, so you don't have to like turn on the lights and disturb like the other people that are staying there. So you just like walk in and it's like you fucking shut the door, and all of a sudden the toilet starts glowing red. You're like, I've opened a portal to hell. I would not want to be on drugs in this bathroom. Fucking like Darth Vader like fucking who turned on the Sith lightsaber in this toilet.
It's Christmas, okay? Oh God, it's a bowl of blood.
Oh. So, any final thoughts on Obliterated? You think we'll get like a sequel? Like, now they're going to blow up like fucking a different city. Is this something you can really do a part 2 to?
I mean, you could, I mean, where are they now type thing. I mean, there's always a...
I mean, they made 3 Hangover movies. You would think after the first one they would learn don't take drugs, but I mean, if we can get 3 Hangovers, we can probably get at least 3 seasons of Obliterated. Just different. Next time it's not Vegas.
This
it's
was
like...
only a night, dude. There's 365 nights in a year, okay?
We're coming back for New Year's. Fucking Haggerty's I gotta throw him a bachelor party since he didn't have one before he got married. Well, final thoughts on this here cigar. I like it. It appeared lighter, but I'd say it's a good medium plus, and it has a lot of flavor. Like I said, I'm getting that kind of dark, not sweet chocolate, but like kind of more bitter chocolate, coffee espresso. So it has a lot of flavors for a cigar that's not as strong as some of the other stuff I smoke. So like it's a good journey, kind of like this movie was, where it's like every time you think they're gonna win, no, the plot just gets fucking weirder, and then gremlins show up and crash your.
And then subplot.
Another subplot. Ah, fuck. How many subplots this movie got?
The movie is just one big subplot. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Weekend at Bernie's, Die Hard, Rambo, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's like all the greats just rolled up into one. It's like that Hangover meets fucking Rambo or some shit.
But then again, that could be my only complaint. Is there's still nothing new, nothing good. That or we've officially gotten old.
Everything is just something else. There's no more original ideas in the world. But even if you steal from other ideas, at least it's not a straight remake of something. It was not only a semi-original plot. You know, even though they kind of paid tribute to all the great action movies of the day, it's a good return to adult-oriented comedy, which I think we've not had that in several years. So like, and you know that like, you know, adult action comedy is or even not even action comedy. It's like adult humor comedy. You know, is something that, you know, I grew up on, and
you know what
like,
this is?
It's been sorely missed.
I just fucking figured it out. This is goddamn fucking Scooby-Doo, and Trunk is Scooby.
Does that make Haggerty Shaggy?
Yes.
Tech Chick is Thelma. Ava is Daphne. I guess that would make not Ava, Lana.
Then you've got fucking whatever, you know.
Fucking Ava is Fred.
No, McClarty's got to be, or you know, whatever his name
Midnight.
is. Midnight's got to be Fred.
They got the helicopter, the whatever the what was it, the Raven? That's the Scooby van.
I mean, they legit had a van at some point. Like, that's.
Oh damn! That's I see it now.
I'm a little bit disappointed that it took me this long to reach that conclusion, but god damn it, that's my contribution as we wrap this shit up.
That's all we got. We'll be right back with some science. And you've been watching the Cigar Nerds Podcast. Check us out on cigarnerdpodcast.com and on the ESO Network, esonetwork.com. And don't forget, smoke them if you got them. Like, comment, and subscribe.